Okay, I'm wearing my Pink Floyd t-shirt in this video. I've got a pink Sigmund Freud one too, but anyway, on this video, I'm going to do the Amanda song again. Tell that story. Uh, oh mercy, mercy. Ended up. I'll just cut to the chase. Ended up homeless in Nashville back in 2006. Long story what led up to that, I'm not going to tell. But I was staying at the Nashville Rescue Mission initially. It was walking distance to all the honky tonks downtown, but I couldn't go to them because I had to show up. I had been sober about 9 months at that point, I guess. And you had to show up for a bed, get in line for a ticket for a bed about really early in the afternoon if it was cold and rainy. And then you could come back with your ticket. But the one time I didn't do that, I had to sleep on the floor with these, on the mat on the floor, a bunch of drunks vomiting and stuff. I learned my lesson. I get my ticket and I have to come stand in line to go eat, stand in line to take a shower, go to church and all this kind of stuff. You were stuck there the rest of the night. So I didn't want to drink, but I wanted to go to the honky tonk. So I started at the Renaissance Hotel, I think, then the Hilton and all these fancy hotels in their stairwell, but I'd get caught by security and kicked out. They could have got me for trespassing, but they didn't. They just kicked me out. Well, finally at the Sheraton, they had a nightclub on top. And they had to have the very top of the building, it looked like a flying saucer from the street. And they had to have a fire escape coming down from it. And they only used it for special occasions, bluegrass festivals and that kind of thing. So I started off at the roof access. I got kicked out of that. I went all the way back, went as far up as I could go to this roof, where the fire escape where the club was. And I camped out there for 3 months. I had a pile of dirty clothes where I'd steal my clothes and shaving supplies. I went to quite a bit of trouble. I was a professional shoplifter. I dressed in khaki pants and Oxford button-down shirt and navy blue sport coat. I looked more like an attorney than a homeless musician, quite deliberately. Kept my hair trimmed up and everything. I stole the razor, and I stole me some Paul Sebastian cologne. They had it on. Some places don't have it on the shelf anymore. They did. They had these little sensors to set off the alarm, but I'd cut that off. And anyway, I'd push the shopping cart around and get stuff that I wasn't planning to get, stick it in the cart. I knew I was being filmed or on video, and I shopped. And I'd get a backpack, open it up, unzip it, lay it in the cart, put some underwear and socks and t-shirts, stuff that I needed that got dirty. I didn't have money for a laundromat. There was none downtown Nashville anyway. But so I'd go over to, I'd make some money. I didn't do that much as a street musician. I did a little bit. But I'd work day labor and get a little cash together. I had a bus pass. I'd go over to Brentwood, a high society suburb of Nashville, and go to the Walmart there because they didn't have a lot of homeless people hanging around out that way. And I'd put stuff, like I said, I'd get stuff that I wasn't getting, push the shopping cart over to the grocery department, get me some Starbucks coffee and stuff like that too, and dark chocolate. I'd put the backpack on, keep on shopping, and then slowly but surely walk out because they watch in segments. They look on somebody, they will keep an eye on that person, they move to something else. So I did that for about 2 years. Got back to Myrtle Beach, got sloppy, lost my mojo, and ended up with, I'm not going to tell that. I'll come back to that story. Oh, what the hell. No, it requires telling the story about the cockroach song. I'm not going to do that right now. I'll come back to that story. But I want to play the Amanda song. Anyway, one day I was walking down Broadway, walked past the Broadway Brew House, glanced. It was a fancy beer joint. They sold all kind of foreign beers. They had a beer bar kind of back toward the back, but in the front bar they had a little bit different atmosphere, more for people that might just want to mix a drink. And that bar faced the big picture window to the streets. And Amanda was at the bar, and when you walk past, they probably put her there to try. It was near the CMA award show was coming up, and they had big wigs coming to town. They put her there to try to draw in some old farts like me, but they were real people, not homeless people. You know, big, not stars, but you know, people in the business, whatever. And it worked on me. I looked inside, made eye contact with her. She smiled at me. I knew I was flat broke. I thought, I'm going in there anyway. And I call them these negative voices that we all have in our head. I call them the yappy lap dogs. You can't go in there. You're an alcoholic. Besides, she's too young and beautiful. She won't have nothing to do with your old ass. And I just ignore them and went in there. Water with the line, please. And she was being so nice to me. And I knew I didn't have anything to tip her, so I told her the truth. I said, look, I'm a homeless musician. I don't have any money. I know this in the soup kitchen. I'll drink my water and I'll go. She goes, no, you can stay as long as you like. I like the company. And I did. I stayed for 6 weeks. About every day she was there. She never once gave me that feeling, oh, my God, not him again. She was sometimes having my water while I'm waiting. We had conversation. She was engaged to a guy she described as a hunk living back in Cincinnati. She had just gotten her master's from Vanderbilt. She was this gorgeous fashion model. She was doing fashion modeling at that time. Now she has her own organic makeup company called Beauty Independent. You can Google Amanda West, Reade, Reed, and get her picture and buy some of her makeup if you want to. But anyway, we spent 6 weeks just, I was soaking up her presence, and I don't know how to explain the relationship. It's been so many years ago, but she made me, I felt like I still had value as a human being, which I really didn't have, sleeping in the stairwell of the Sheraton. I came in, it was the night of the CMA Awards show. I left my guitar up in my penthouse stairwell home, and it was raining, and I had saved up a little to tip her, and I was so proud I had something to give her, and I don't know how much it was. I put it on the bar. She pushed it back. She says, Tony, keep your money. Karma will make everything all right. Well, that line stuck in my head, and I was already pregnant, if you will, with emotion. I was in labor. I borrowed a pen. I had to do something right then creatively. I borrowed paper and pen from her, went to a booth in the back, no guitar, no way to record it, with music coming over the speakers. And I wrote the melody just in my head. I didn't have the guitar then. But and this is what I wrote in less than 20 minutes. Soft blue eyes and long brown hair. Amanda acted like she didn't care that I was older. She was young enough to be my child. Sorry, get position. This thing is not going to stay. Oh, well, I'm back up with it. Soft blue eyes and long brown hair. Amanda acted like she didn't care that I was older. Older, she was young enough to be my child. Sitting at the bar drinking coffee, black. I gave her a tip, but she gave it back. She said, karma would make everything alright. Oh, Amanda, you're the angel of my night. Yeah, I really want to give something back to Amanda, but she writes my world, and you know that it can't be wrong. If I give my heart and soul right now to Amanda, in the words and music of a sad old country song. Rain's coming down, so I gotta stay. Too much coffee makes me stay awake, but the whiskey almost, I don't like my singing on this. I'm not gonna start over there. But whiskey almost took my life. It's getting late, but she's polite. I don't know where I'm staying tonight, but Amanda always lets me know. When the lights are on, there's a place that I can go. Yeah, I really want to give something back to Amanda, 'cause she writes my world, and you know that it can't be wrong if I give my heart and soul right now to Amanda, in the words and music of a sad old country song. Rain's let up and the coffee's old, so I'll go home where the sheets are cold, and I'll think of her as only in my dreams. Messing the guitar up to you, I'm sorry guys. Would Amanda ever really think of me? When the bars close, it's her face I see. Damn it. Face I see, soft blue eyes looking back at me in a way that say, maybe in another life you could be my man and I could be your wife. Oh Amanda, I think I love you in a way I never ever loved anyone else. Oh Amanda, I'm thinking of you, right here in the bed, all by myself. Still get moved thinking about her. Soft blue eyes and long brown hair, Amanda acting like she didn't care. Well, I really slopped that up, guys. I don't practice enough. I just go for it, and I made a lot of mistakes, but you get the gist of the song. That relationship was significant in a way I can't explain. We didn't have any physical contact. I tried to ask her for a coffee date to Starbucks to get her out of the bar and off the ends by herself and everything. And she could have gone, I told you I was engaged. I don't think so. Or, oh, how about next Wednesday? And just kept putting it off and never gotten around to it. But instead, she stopped, glanced up toward the ceiling and said, well, maybe. Let me think about it. Two whole days went by. She came back with her response. I don't know her fiance's name, but I call him Steve. She said, Tony, if Steve went to coffee with some girl, I wouldn't like it, so I'd better not. And that's all I needed. I mean, in a way, it showed me, okay, there was a bit of a conflict. She would have felt like she was being disloyal to him or whatever. But I just took what she had to give. And in that interaction at the bar, there was enough for me. She was 5'9", beautiful, gorgeous fashion model. And probably working as a bartender doesn't make, models don't make much if they're not famous, I guess. But anyway, that relationship is one of, I was basically, I've talked about my past as a gigolo and everything, a womanizer. I didn't have anything. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a gig I didn't have any game at all. It was just me being myself sitting at the bar. And that was enough for her. Anyway, I'm going to shut up because I could just go on talking about her all night long. And I didn't ever see her. I left Nashville that Christmas to go visit my daughter in Roanoke, and that didn't turn out so great. When I got back to Nashville, she was gone. They probably just hired her for that CMA. Oh, there was a night of the CMA Award show. I mentioned that when I wrote the song. But that's enough of that.